Hi everyone, I'm Zach and I like movies, and I just got back from watching the newest movie from John Krasinski, If. This is the latest from actor, writer, director, and Jim from The Office himself, John Krasinski. Well, I'm just gonna be honest, I don't get the appeal. I really don't. I I'm not a huge fan of The Office, but I like a lot of the actors on it. I've especially loved what Steve Carell's been doing lately. But John was never one of them. John Krasinski he always seemed like the Maroon Five of actors, where he's like has fans apparently, but everything he does just feels so thunderously mediocre. Just nothing impresses me. Like, yeah, I know you are acting, you're in a TV, you're in movies, but you have the screen presence of a bologna sandwich with extra mayonnaise, so why would I want to see you in anything? But then again, when he started to make a shift to being a director, I thought, oh, maybe this could be some interesting avenue. But not really. No, I was not really impressed with either of A Quiet Place movies. There was also that good news thing he kind of did during COVID, but then he shipped that off to a bidding, where he sold off the idea of John Krasinski doing Happy News off to some companies, and he probably got a lot of money of that because there was a bidding war. And then he's not doing that, so the idea of John Krasinski doing news about happy things is pointless. Not happening without John Krasinski. What was that? What was that? Why did we forget that happened? Anyway, so now he's did another movie again with his buddy Ryan Reynolds, who is another actor that I'm just really kind of tired of. Really, it's nothing really against him personally. Just he's definitely a talented actor. I've seen him be really good in movies like Adventureland, and even he's really good in Van Wilder and The Proposal. But really, since 2016, he's just doing Deadpool, which is fine when he's doing Deadpool, but it's literally everything he does. That's his brand now. It's just being, he's just doing that voice that he's, it's pitched up, kind of sarcastic, doesn't really take anything seriously, and he's been doing that literally everything he does, and God, literally every time he opened his mouth in this movie, I was bracing myself for a Mint Mobile ad. God, those things are everywhere. But anyway, getting ahead of myself. So, If is a movie about a girl named Bee, played by Cailey Fleming, who was in The Walking Dead. Probably must be one of the later seasons. I dropped out super early. But she is a little girl she's a 12-year-old girl who, doesn't want to think that she's a kid. And she has it, and her dad is sick. He needs a heart surgery or something. And her dad is played by John Krasinski. He's really annoying. I'm sorry. He's real. I'll get to it. I'll elaborate soon. But then she's staying with her grandmother, who's played really delightfully by Fiona Shaw, who last I saw, she was breaking my heart multiple times over as Marva from Andor. And then she sees that her upstairs neighbor, Ryan Reynolds, exasperated guy named Calvin, is caretaking of imaginary friends, also known as IFs, which I don't know if it's just me. That feels like that should be like a slur of some kind. We don't sell those. We don't serve those IFs around these parts. Something like that. I don't know. And it's more there's various kind of character designs. They're all voiced by the entire Rolodex of John Krasinski's very famous friends. There's Sam Rockwell. Sam Rockwell, he voices a superpowered raccoon, which is funny because Bradley Cooper is also in it, not voicing the raccoon. He voices an ice cube in a glass of water. There's a Gummy Bear voiced by Amy Schumer. There's a robot voiced by Jon Stewart. I could go on. And though there's even an old teddy bear voiced by the late great Louis Gossett Jr. He was sweet, but there's mostly features about two ifs. There's a big, fuzzy, purple, grimace-looking dude voiced by Steve Carell. His name is Blue. Yes, he's purple. That's a joke. And a ballerina butterfly named Blossom, voiced by Phoebe Waller-Bridges. She was really cute. I did like her design. She has a real Minnie Mouse quality to her with those big bug eyes. And B decides to help Calvin and the other ifs find new kids. They need new homes. And I would not be the first one to point out that the conceit of imaginary friends needing to find new homes is the base idea of this great cartoon from my childhood, Foster's Home from Imaginary Friends. Wonderful show. They even have a main character named Blue, except he's actually blue. And but really, the plot of this movie has a lot more similarities with this other movie from 2016 called A Monster Calls. It's a lot of the same beats too, like sick parent of some unnamed disease, kid escaping to imagination to like cope with the emotions they're feeling. They even have like a British grandmother, which was kind of nice. But where A Monster Calls really leans into a monster call is basically like just a therapy session for children, and it's often a scary movie, mostly because the emotions that it's trying to help through that it's telling with its story are scary. It does feel scary to like fear that you might lose your parent too early when you're still a kid, and like maybe the imaginations and the stories they tell are able to like help us like not only confront hard these scary emotions, but like and accept them and like help carry us through them. And I feel like that's sort of what If was trying to do, at least in part. But If is mostly just a pretty boring and not very imaginative movie either. It feels like a couple different stories. Like there's a story like I said about like B and the family drama with that's kind of like A Monster Calls, where like she's escaping to the imagination and like trying to help adults around her embrace their inner child, and that would in turn give some dramatic catharsis to her and her feeling like a kid again because she feels like she needs to grow up too soon. There's another one where there's another story in here about like the various ifs that sort of like live in this retirement community under an amusement park, but that one just feels like just kind of there, which is similar to Ryan Reynolds. He's mostly just kind of here, just kind of walking around. He doesn't feel like a deuteragonist. It doesn't feel like a second bill. He just sort of like feels more like a recurring character. And there's a third story that that kind of feels like a story that you could just make an entire movie of, is Blue, like the big purpley fuzzy Steve Carell monster. And his story is like probably the strongest one out of them. There's actually a very touching moment where he finds his kid who's all grown up now, and there's a genuinely touching moment where they like bond, and he like remembers again, embraces that inner child. But that's mostly just kind of it as far as like he goes. He's mostly just here to be kind of a big nuisance most of the time. And if you're into like, I don't know, like the Despicable Me Steve Carell, you'll probably enjoy that fine enough. But yeah, it mostly feels confused as to what kind of movie it's trying to be, or even what kind of movie it's for. Like this movie's like, I think it's just too slow and kind of self-serious to be appealing to kids. I mean, my theater had kids in it. They seemed amused, I guess. Just kind of there watching the motions and watching the happy, colorful characters and stuff. But I don't know. I don't know if kids would like this. It takes a while to even get going. Like it's mostly just sitting around being sad and just not having much else to do except feel sad about like there's worry and like having worrisome emotions about about potentially losing their parent, which is fine. I think a movie that is about that can be very successful. Like again with the Monster Calls, but it didn't really commit to that story. It's just kind of here amongst the other stuff happening, and man, like I don't know why you would feel like I don't know why you would feel sad about losing Bee's parent. Bee's dad is played by John Krasinski. He's really annoying here. It's because his performance really reflects a lot of what the rest of this movie is doing. It is telling us so much about how it wants you to feel without ever earning any of the emotions. Like Krasinski is like trying, like it's like he believes really in his heart of hearts that he is Bandit Healer from Bluey. He's not. He like plays, he's in the hospital and he's playing pranks. He's trying to like be nice and fun. He like keep things light for his kid, but he just comes off as annoying. It feels very try hard, especially towards the emotions in the third act that are just so. Oh my god, the score by Michael Giacchino is so loud and so insistent about like it's forcing the emotion out of us. Just this is the sad moment. Be sad. Hear the sad piano songs. Hear the sad leitmotifs. Be sad. This is the sad emotion. This is the happy emotion. And that a lot of the score is like that. And man. And it feels like a weaker. It feels like a weaker Spielberg movie. At least like most in part because this movie was somehow that had the cinematographer Janusz Kaminski, who is Spielberg's go-to DP, and for some reason this movie looks so uninteresting. The only times I even noticed that it was Janusz was when it has those like bright crepuscular rays of sunlight just beaming out of the windows. Like that, like he only like that's his go-to. But the rest of the movie just looks so flat, and that's how a lot of this movie is. It's a flat movie that isn't as imaginative, isn't as heartfelt, isn't as heartwarming that it really tries to believe it is. And man, it's just so I don't even know what this movie is even for or who this movie's for. I think it's too sad. Well, not that it's too sad. I think it's just a too slow and too unengaging for kids. And I think as far as adults go, it's just so it's so saccharine. It's so just it's whimsy and imagination is hard to pull off. Well, no, that's not true. It's not that it's hard to pull off. It's hard to like feel natural. Like a movie that probably is something like this, I guess, would be My Neighbor Totoro. That movie is very whimsical and very imaginative, and it never feels like okay. The right word for this movie is condescending. This is a condescending movie. This is a movie that comes down on its knees and says, "Hey, things are okay. Things might be sad, but that's all right. Just remember to remember that inner child, and you'll feel happier." And it doesn't earn any of that. It feels like it's just talking down to kids. Feels like it's talking down to the parents watching them. Just wanting so bad to have these sappy moments and that tug at your heartstrings. And it's just not earned. Nothing in like the filmmaking and how the camera work is done. It's so flat. Again, it's like John Krasinski. It's like John Krasinski himself. He's just it tells me that it is a heartwarming movie, but it's just boring. It's just flat. I don't know what else. I don't even know how many. I don't even know how else to describe it other than that. Like, it's just a. Yeah, its stories is confused about like. It's a part of me is just like thinking about like how the other ifs interact, because like when it tries to like bring in this like uh part of the story where it's like, actually no, it does this thing where it like talks about how important stories are, but like it just like, and I mean that because it would say again, hey, have a good story. Like John, like Krasinski would tell his kid, tell B, have a good story, but like storytelling doesn't really come into play here at all with the ifs, because the ifs are about like embracing your inner child, and I get, and it's not like storytelling is something that's like only themes for children. And oh my god, when this movie like really tries to insist and really manipulate you into feeling emotions, and like the entire opening credit scene is like those like home movies where like the mom and dad are playing with the kid and everyone's very very happy and they're very very cute, and the score is just being all twinkly and sunshine, and it's so cute and it's so sweet, and my god, please spare me. Like, oh sorry, I'm a little scattershot because I'm trying so hard to like I'm trying so hard to like muster the energy to even give this anything, because it just gave me so it gave me it gave me so little, despite the fact that it said that it was despite the fact that it kept telling me it was giving me a lot. I don't know. I'm just it's a lot of smoke and no fire. And and again, there are some nice moments. There's some there is a genuinely touching scene with Blue, and again, some of the imaginary friends are kind of nice. Again, I like Blossom; she's cute. And but yeah, a lot of like the meat and potatoes of this movie is so boring. It was so just unengaging. It was slow. It was confused in terms of like what it was trying to be, and I don't want to bother with John Krasinski's anymore. I feel like I've given him enough chances and he's just disappointed me. So yeah, I don't know. I give this a light 3, I guess. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, don't. I wouldn't suggest showing your kids this. Bring your kid to see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. The children love monkeys. And yeah, there are better movies you could show your kid. Show them My Neighbor Totoro. Hell, even Bridge to Terabithia, as much as it kind of forces emotions out of the audience, I think it dealt with the like sad emotions much more gracefully and much less insistently as If does. But yeah, that's my review for If. Not really worth seeing. But what did you think of If? Did you like If? Did you bring kids to see your kid to see If? Did they enjoy If? And what if you subscribed and clicked like on the video? And what if you also had a lot of movies to watch, like I have a lot of movies to watch, because I'm Zach and I like movies, and I hope you watch movies too. And I will see you